Why do we keep scrolling even when there is nothing we want to see? Why does silence push us toward our phone screens? Why do we feel the need to open our phones and scroll through something whenever we have free time? Have you ever wondered? What is the mind actually looking for in that motion? This is not about distraction. This is not about lack of self-control. This seems to be something deeper, something quieter, something that has been building in your subconscious for years. This behavior is not random. This is not accidental. If your hand moves toward your phone without any instruction, it is responding to something. This is not a notification. This is not a task. But this is an internal signal that has learned to associate stillness with discomfort. Your brain does not like open-ended moments. It prefers structure. It prefers knowing what comes next. When there is a gap between activities, the mind begins to wander, and wandering randomly can lead to places you are not ready to visit. Unresolved thoughts, unfinished conversations, feelings that have no clear name. The phone interrupts this wandering before it begins. It offers freedom of movement without requiring commitment. It allows you to direct your attention to a place that requires nothing from you. No decision has been made yet. No effort was required. Do not confront what you are about to feel. This is why scrolling feels so meaningless. You are not seeking content. You are seeking relief from the weight of unplanned time. The content itself does not matter. It could be anything. This is just something to look at during moments when your mind avoids looking inward. Think about what happens when you stop scrolling, not when you put the phone aside to do something else. But when you stop and do nothing, what rises in that silence? Most people never find out. The phone returns before silence gets a chance to speak. The loop completes before the question can form. But if you stay long enough, something will surface. A thought you have been constantly postponing, a decision you have been delaying for a long time. The phone does not create the discomfort. It responds to it. The restlessness was already there. The problem of not being able to sit still was already there. The phone has become the fastest way to manage this. A moment of stillness appears. The mind perceives this as a problem. The hand reaches out. The screen lights up. The discomfort gradually fades, and the brain notes the solution. Because we repeat this dozens of times throughout the day, we become dependent on it. Over time, this connection strengthens. The gap between stillness and reaching shortens. Eventually, the hand moves before you even notice the discomfort. The loop runs automatically, invisibly, beyond your conscious control. This is not a habit in the traditional sense. This is a reflex, a learned response to something your nervous system has decided is unsafe. Not dangerous, just uncomfortable enough to avoid. Modern life amplifies this even more. Because people avoid so many things, there can be so many things they plan to do, but they cannot start any of them and find themselves scrolling. Generally, anxiety increases more at night. People want to change their lives, and they constantly postpone. During this period, you are asked to process more information in a single day than previous generations encountered in months. Decisions, inputs, notifications, tasks. By the end of the day, your mind is full. When the mind is full, it also loses the ability to tolerate emptiness. Stillness feels like too much. Silence also feels like another demand. Therefore, the phone becomes a place where you can rest without resting, a way to be busy without thinking, a way to exist without processing. You scroll not because you want something, but stopping means returning to yourself, and that return has started to feel harder than continuing. What are you avoiding when you reach for your phone? What kind of thought was about to cross your mind? What feeling were you facing when you were about to sit down? The answer is different for everyone, but the mechanism is exactly the same. The phone keeps the room constantly full. This prevents the pause feature from opening. It eliminates the discomfort before you even notice it. This is why endless content feels safer than stopping. Stopping means confronting what you ran away from. Endless content means you do not need to go anywhere. You can keep moving without landing, and the movement itself becomes the point, not the destination, not the content, just the act of scrolling, the repetitive motion that keeps your attention occupied. This keeps the silence at bay. But there is something no one talks about. The discomfort you are trying to avoid is not actually a threat. This is completely unfamiliar. It only feels dangerous because you have been leaving so quickly for so long. What lives in the pause is not something to fear. This is just you, your undirected thoughts, your feelings, away from distractions, your mind in its natural state. This can feel uncomfortable at first, especially after filling every gap for years. But discomfort is not the same as harm. This is just a sign that something unusual is happening. When you understand this, the behavior begins to lose its invisibility. You are not scrolling because you are weak. You are scrolling because your nervous system learned that this works, that reaching feels safer than staying, safer than fighting. Being in motion feels better than being still, and it works. For a while, it managed to relieve the discomfort. It kept the silence completely intact. It gave you something to do when you did not know what to do with yourself. But it solved nothing. It only delayed. It blocked you. This only postponed the moment when you would have to sit with what you were carrying. What changes when you see this clearly? Not everything. Maybe nothing will happen immediately, but awareness creates space. A small gap between the cue and the response. A moment when you might make a different choice, or maybe not, but at least you see it. Next time your hand moves toward your phone, you might notice it. Not to stop it, not to judge, just to see, to feel what triggered that reach. To ask what you were about to feel. Maybe you do not have an answer. There is nothing wrong with that. The question itself changes something. It makes the invisible visible. This turns the reflex into a choice. Not always, but sometimes. And sometimes that is enough. The phone is not the enemy. This is a mirror. This reflects how you respond to stillness. How does your nervous system handle uncertainty? What you reach for when nothing is demanding your attention. Most people have never been taught the importance of sitting with silence. We are trained from childhood to remain productive, to fill time, to avoid appearing to do nothing. Stillness becomes associated with laziness. As a result, we have lost our ability to focus. Emptiness becomes something that needs to be fixed. The phone fits perfectly into this training. It eliminates the gap before you even realize it. It gives you something to do when there is nothing to do. It keeps you moving even when you do not need to move. But this gap is not a problem. Silence is not empty. It only feels that way because you are filling it so quickly, for so long. What would happen if you let that pause continue? If you could not reach it? If you chose to face the discomfort instead of escaping it? You might discover that the discomfort passes on its own. It was never as unbearable as it seemed. It was just a feeling, a moment, a signal that only required your presence. You open your phone without a reason, but the reason was always there, hidden in the silence you were not ready to hold, hidden in the thought you were not ready to face, hidden in the version of yourself you were avoiding. Now you know, and knowing changes everything, not by fixing the behavior, but by making it visible, by turning the automatic into the observed, by giving you a choice where there was none before. The phone will still be there. The discomfort will continue to rise. The hand will still reach. But now, in a small way, you are watching too. And in this observation process, something changes. Perhaps after this video, you can be a little more aware. You might think twice before opening that phone. Today we talked to you about this topic. If you liked our video, do not forget to subscribe for our other content. See you in another video.